Okay, the second thing we are going to work on is how to create a Pareto chart. Now, a Pareto chart actually is premised on the idea that 80% of a project's benefit can be achieved by just doing 20% of the work, or conversely, 80% of every problem can be traced to 20% of the causes. So that's what Pareto analysis is all about. And then what it means is that it explains that our 80% of our problems is caused by 20% issues. So this is a sample of a Pareto chart. Okay, so it's a sample of a Pareto chart. And then this Pareto chart, we are going to create something like this. We are going to learn how to create something like this. Okay, so in this Pareto chart, you can see that we have defects. Okay, so these are different defects. It could be in a project, it could be anywhere. And then this is the number of occurrence, and this number actually goes on a descending order of magnitude, so it decreases from the highest to the least. And then we are going to work on this. So in this place, if we change any value here, let's say here is 70, okay, and then you see our chart also keep changing in different formats. And in this place, you can see that from this chart, just 4 of these charts makes up 80% of the problem. You see, 80% of our problems lies on these 4 charts. So this can be traced with this particular line, this horizontal line here. You see, so we use this 80% rule, which is a Pareto rule, to measure our decision. So how do we create this? So in order to create this, we go over to this. So I'm going to clean everything here, so we delete this chart, and now I'm going to delete everything here. I'm going to delete these two, so we have only the frequency, we have cumulative. So this is the total value here. So to get it is just the sum. Okay, so sum of all this information here, you get this. So to find our cumulative, here we just click equal sign, then 20, click enter. Okay, so here 120, so here equal sign, then you click this plus this. Okay, you click enter. So here the same, equal sign, this plus this, you click enter. So here you just drag to this place. So this is the value of the cumulative frequency. So we create a cumulative frequency percentage here, which will now be equal sign, the value here divides by total value here. Okay, so you click this, we have it 41%, that's the value here. So the same thing you do here. Okay, equal sign, the value here divides with the value here. Okay, 61.3%. So if we have bunch of data, to be doing this 111 will be a little bit different. So but there's something I want to show you here. If you highlight this and drag, you are going to get some errors. Okay, so you see we have errors here. The reason why is the information we are getting here is that the value here goes to the next column here. Okay, so the third column, this is first, second, so this goes for the third column here. So if you see here C19, you see it's getting data here, so it is wrong. So in order to put this error better, in order to correct it, what we are going to do is what we call absolute referencing. So in absolute referencing, once you click on this, okay, so from here we have our data is this C17, so you highlight it and hit F4, so we'll call it absolute referencing. So here now you just drag and then move down, so every error will be corrected. So all this is pointing to this, so it is called absolute referencing. Okay, so you need to know how to do that too. So here you see these are the entire percentage we have, so of our cumulative frequency chart. So the next we do is to build our chart. So in order to build our chart, you click on insert. So here you just click on empty chart. Let's take this. So this is an empty chart. So in this empty chart, the next thing you have to do is right click here and then click on select data. So under select data you click add. So the first thing we add is this, okay, this frequency. Here you delete everything here, delete. So select the data of the frequency and then you click OK. So we have added the frequency data, and then the next you do is click on edit and then select defect. So the information in this defect is this, okay. So we are plotting the graph of defect with respect to frequency. Then the next is adding the second chart, and then the second chart is for cumulative frequency. You put the name is cum frequency. Now what is the data? So we clear this. The data is all this, you select it and then you click OK. So here also you click edit and then we are selecting from defect. Okay, they are pointing to defect, so we hit OK. So this is our data, and if you look at this data, you discover that you cannot see very clear the values, the percentages of the defect with respect to cumulative frequency, because they are very small. This is 0.418, 0.6, so they are very small. So we are going to do something about it. So we'll click on it, click on the chart for this. So we click on this, the second chart. Just a moment. So here, this, shift this a little bit. So we need to highlight the data. Just a little moment. So close this. So here. Okay. Okay, so let's try to highlight. We need to highlight, it's not yet highlighted. So this is highlighted, but the orange is not yet highlighted. So we need to highlight all the data of the second chart. Let's see if we can get them clearly. No, yes. Okay. Okay, so it's highlighted. So once we highlight it, now you right click on the data, right click and then click format data series. So change it to be secondary data. Okay, so once you click on secondary data, you discover that we can see it clear. It is now like a stacked data, so it is stacked together with the other one. So we now work on this secondary data. So right click on the secondary data again. Now the data series, you click on format data series. So under this format data series, okay, so right click on this. We now change the series type So in this place, you see we have line. So here we select this. So we now have a line chart that is stuck with this, and then the column frequency is the secondary data, and we are selecting it to be line chart. You click OK. So it is now a line chart. So we work on this also to find out the values of this, to make the sizes, the dots to be a little bit bold. So right click on it and then click on format data series, click on add label, okay. So we've added label, and then format data labels, click it above, okay, and then come back to this, click on the chart format, then click on this, so we need to format it, okay. So for our marker, okay, so here the highlighted, we call it the marker, okay. So marker option, click on marker, then on marker option, so select belt in, and then belt in square. You can increase the size to 6, okay. So here you now see this is the marker, okay. So the marker is now a little bit bold. So you can see that with this chart now you can discover that this information here, these four buses, the four buses here contributes about 88% of the issue. So if you want to solve this problem, once you work on these four buses here, about 85% of the problem is solved. So this corresponds to what Pareto data analysis or Pareto analysis is all about. Okay, so you can also add the 80% rule to that by put here 80% rule. Okay, so here now you make everything 80. Okay, so you write here 80%, and then so everything here you drag and then drop. Okay, so all of them is 80%. So here you can plot also the graph of this 80%. Okay, if you plot the graph, so I want you to complete it by yourself. Take it as a task. Okay, in the second task here, the task here is that you should plot the Pareto chart for the medical errors. So these are different medical errors, and these medical errors are type of have different numbers. So here you have those miss, wrong time, wrong drug, a lot of errors, and these are their values. So plot a chart of a Pareto chart, plot a Pareto chart for all these medical errors. Try to interpret your chart, and then let us know your thoughts. Okay, thank you for your time.